The first time I meet with a client, I like to share the story of how my health was restored. When I was 40 years old, I got out of bed one morning and I couldn't stand up because of the severe pain in my back. Now, I had never had that problem before. It was just happened out of nowhere. And you kind of walk around and go, what's going on? And then as the day went on, the back felt better, could stand up, walk around, and do my normal activities. Well, this sequence of events occurred for several mornings in a row. And I went to seek medical advice as to how to help get rid of this pain in my back. And so the advice was to take some medication for the pain and see if it felt better. So after a time, it didn't, and so I went back for more medical attention, and so one thing led to another, which led to another, as usually does, and one referral was sent to another referral to another referral, and you kind of get passed around in the system, and I'm sure some of you are familiar with that. And so the end result was that we needed to do exploratory back surgery. So when I heard that, I kind of drew the line and said, I just don't know if I want to do that. What happened was I started looking for alternatives. And so I was referred to a fabulous chiropractor who practices in Fairfax, Virginia. And he worked with me for several weeks. And he was not able to get to the bottom of my back pain either. And so eventually what happened was we ran into a couple that we used to know when we were out and about. And so we were catching up with each other, and we were catching up on how, what had transpired over the years since we'd seen each other. And I said, well, I feel like I'm doing very well in my life except physically. Every other way, everything's great. But all of a sudden something's happened with my health and I don't know how to take care of it. And so I didn't know anything about anything at that point. I didn't know anything about supplements, alternative medicine, nothing. And so the wife of the couple looked up at her husband, and then she looked at me and she said, "Are you into alternative medicine at all?" And I said, "Well, I don't know what that is, but I think that I probably would be." And so she went on to explain how her husband was an iridologist and she was an herbalist, and that they would like to come over and explore some things and see if they could figure out, help me figure out what was wrong and what to do about it. So really not knowing much more than that, they came over and spent an evening with us, and it was a very interesting time, since I had never had my eyes looked at by an iridologist, and I had never been muscle tested with reflexology before. So it was an interesting evening, but I found that I was receptive to it. So that was almost 20 years ago, and I am happy to report that my back has never been in pain again since we cleared up the problem that was causing the pain. And so that intrigued me, that someone who was in so much pain could actually turn their condition around by following the advice of people who know more than they do. And so, because we are a family who believes in the power of prayer, at the time that this couple was working with us, I was calling those who were standing with us in prayer for our healing, and I said, "Would you pray for us this way, because we're going to undergo a different direction and see if this will help." And so when we started to see that my health was turning around and I was actually feeling good again, and not like I did for almost 9 months of pain, it caught people's attention. And so they started asking if the people who worked with me would work with them. So that started off a little cascade of having people over and me observing them, this couple working with my friends. And I was just intrigued by it, and I started kind of sitting in on their consultations and watching the iridology and watching the muscle testing, and I decided that I wanted to learn a little bit. So I started taking a series of classes offered through a Certified Natural Health Professionals program. That was my first go at learning anything alternative, so to speak. And I'm so glad I did, because I have been equipped to now help other people who are searching for answers, who have had physical issues that they haven't been able to resolve. Over the years of study, I have become an ND, and I am proud to spend most of my days sitting with people like our friends sat with us and help them to understand what's going on with their bodies so that they can take an active role in healing themselves.